the Canadian Hockey League on Sportsnet.
The OHL. Now this is hockey, and when you talk about Oshawa, Ontario, you are talking about a hockey town. From Bobby Orr to Eric Lindros, maybe the next pass will go to Nathan Horton. The Peterborough Petes and the Oshawa Generals getting set to battle, and with me one more time is John Druce. And John, we saw you in the opening, a former Washington Capital, more importantly tonight a former Peterborough Pete. You know about this rivalry as well as anybody.
Well, this rivalry here has been an intense rivalry for years. When we played in this building, if you didn't leave with bumps and bruises and ice packs, it wasn't a game.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are really looking forward to this hockey game, and actually this is the third time they've met this season. John, take us through the first two.
Well, the first game here in Oshawa came out, won 8-3. Ben Eager had 4 goals. They started very hard. Oshawa played a terrific game. Back in Peterborough, it was a 5-0 game for Peterborough, but Oshawa was missing Nathan Horton and Ben Eager.
Oshawa is really on a run right now. Their last 5 games on the road, they've picked up 9 of a possible 10 points. That's why they are number 2 with a bullet in terms of the Eastern Division standings. And you see where Peterborough is right now, 3 games under 500. Peterborough has been struggling, just 1-5 in their last 6. But one player who continues to play very well is Eric Staal.
Well, Eric Staal is definitely a leader for this team. 15 goals in the games that he's played. He leads the team in scoring. Very patient with the puck. At 6'3", 185 pounds. He's still got room to fill out. Rated number 2 by Central Scouting. This player here is a top draft pick in this upcoming draft.
Well, and a lot of people believe that Eric Staal is going to be invited tomorrow when they make the official invitations to Team Canada's World Junior Camp. That Eric Staal is definitely going to be on that list. There is some question about Nathan Horton, only because, John, he's had some injury problems this year, but there's no doubt about it, Nathan Horton is a player too.
He definitely is a player. I love watching this guy play. 13 games that he's played, 25 points. Now, he missed 13 games with a broken jaw. In his first game back, this goal right here, first shift, first shot, he scored. So that's how important Nathan Horton is to this Oshawa team.
Well, he played Junior B as a 13-year-old, so I guess it should be no surprise that he's got those kind of stats as a 17-year-old. So many prospects, and we've got the time to talk about them tonight. Lucas Strychuk, the first-rounder of the Florida Panthers, going head-to-head with the Phoenix Coyote first-round pick, Ben Eager. Time now to take a look at tonight's starting lineups, and we kick things off with Peterborough Petes. John, this is the way things are going to look at the start of the game, but we can't make any promises by the midway point.
No, we can't. We know Lucas Strychuk will be in the same position as usual. He's a top skating defenseman, first-round draft pick of the Florida Panthers. Very smooth to watch. Up front, Evgeny Kadatsky is going to be playing on the second line, but like you said, Mike, things could change up front. Kadatsky, a smooth skating player who likes to stick handle through traffic.
And Rick Elaine, the Petes coach, loves to change his lines up. What about the Oshawa Generals, John?
Well, this has been all the same. They've played very well lately. Dustin Van Bellagui has been their top player, plays against all the top forwards. He'll be out on the ice when Eric Stahl's on the ice every shift. Up front, Tobias Whalen. He's a key player for this team. Normally a third-line centerman's been playing so well lately, he's been moved up to the top line.
Tobias Whalen does so many little things right, and basically mirroring the season so far, the Oshawa Generals.
The Ontario Hockey League on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Tim Hortons. Delight the coffee lover on your list this season with our collector mug and canister. The Molson Canadian Bubba Collector Can. Dressed for a limited time in team jerseys. It's 14 bottles of beer big and perfect for watching the game with the guys. And by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Welcome back to Oshawa, Ontario, everybody. The famous Civic Auditorium. Some great players and goaltenders have graced this ice surface. And speaking of goalies, let's take a look at our starting netminders tonight. David Curry gets the call, the Peterborough native for the Petes. And down at the other end for the Oshawa Generals, Chris Beckford-Tseu. His last game came Friday night. He stopped 38 shots in a big 3-2 win over Mississauga. He is a very exciting goaltender to watch. Chris Beckford-Tseu getting the call for the Generals. And referee for tonight's game, actually John Druce's favorite referee, Brad Beer, gets the call. And Joe Celestine and Kevin Hastings on the line. So we're set to go, and we're off to the races. The Oshawa Generals in red and the Peterborough Petes in their traditional white and maroon. Colt King has the puck. He is pushed off it, and Van Bellagui goes back for the Generals. A veteran defenseman trying to clear it. Stahl grabs it. In front for Patterson. His shot goes wide. Tardif takes a whack at it. And the Peterborough Petes trying to come out hard because their coach, Rick Elaine, John Druce, said that the first 10 minutes of this game are key because Oshawa usually are the ones who come out really tough in the first 10 minutes.
Well, they normally come out. They scored 3 goals in the first 10 minutes last time they played in this building.
Here's Horton, still wearing the facial protection because of the broken jaw that we talked about in the opening. He missed 13 games with that injury. He wears number 18 for the Generals, and believe me, we'll be talking about him all night long. Stahl trying to clear it. Van Bellegui settling that puck down. Cross ice, and Ben Eager, the first-round pick of the Phoenix Coyotes, will snap it in. And now the Generals making some changes as the play is whistled down on the automatic icing call.
Well, Rick Elaine actually played in the Ontario Hockey League. Played for the Kitchener Rangers. He had 700 penalty minutes in his junior career, so very physical player when he played. He wants his team to take on that same type of characteristic. They really haven't been doing that lately. They've been a little bit soft.
Searching for answers right now are the Peterborough Petes, especially on the road. 3-9-2 on the road coming into this game tonight. They'd obviously like to change that against their arch rivals. Elzinga. Pass ahead for the veteran 20-year-old Chambers. Number 24. Chambers gets it back again and brings it to the neutral zone. He had 89 points last year to lead the Petes. Generals back the other way. Jamie Johnson, the first man in on the forecheck. Whalen. Ranger was yelling for that puck as he was pinching down from his point position. Now Ranger backs off, and they scrum in the corner. Johnson brings it out. The former Sarnia Sting. Hollis has his head up. He was looking for Whalen in front. He was open momentarily, but they couldn't get it through to him. Chambers tries to wrist it out. He does. Ahead for Kadatsky. With a great first move. Takes the shot, and Beckford-Tseu got a piece of that with his shoulder. Kadatsky with that great step. And the play whistled down as Kadatsky, I believe, is down in that corner. There's an injured Pete down the corner. Yes, it's Kadatsky, but what a great first move. And now he is down in the corner, obviously injured.
Well, Kadatsky has been doing this every game. I go to the Petes games all the time. He loves to split the defenseman and get through the middle. Gets a nice shot on net there, but Mike Sellon is one tough customer. He always finishes his checks and took out Kadatsky against the board after he took the shot on net. But Kadatsky really got a good shot away, just getting the shoulder of the goaltender, Beckford-Tseu. But Kadatsky, as he goes through the defenseman, Mike Sellon is the defender on him right there. He'll push him right into the boards. He doesn't slow down and just keeps on pushing. And Kadatsky goes right into the boards.
Well, you're right. Mike Sellon, one of the toughest competitors on the blue line in the Ontario Hockey League. The game we worked together back on November 3rd, he absolutely hammered Scott Rosendale of the Brantford Battalion. Rosendale getting up off the canvas, though, because he ended up being the first star in that game. But there's no question Sellon plays it rough.
Oh, absolutely. We mentioned Scott Rosendale actually played here in Oshawa. He knows that Mike Sellon is a tough customer, and he wasn't surprised to look up and see Sellon take him out in that game in Brampton. But George Burnett, he says that line matches are very key for this game tonight, and we noticed the first shift he had the top line of Horton, King, and Eager out against Eric Stahl's line, and actually that's a pretty good matchup for the Petes. He has John House out there playing against Jamie Johnson, which is a good matchup, as House likes to play against the top offensive players of the other team.
And that would be a huge break for the Oshawa Generals if Kadatsky is unable to continue, because talking with Rick Elaine, the Peterborough Pete coach, before the game, he says Kadatsky and Josh Patterson have been his two best players of late. So for the moment, Kadatsky is down, and the Peterborough Petes will get the opportunity to operate on the power play. We mentioned how badly they've been struggling, 1-5 in their last 6 games, and they've been having some problems finding offense. That's been the big problem, so they'll look for some offense on the power play, and the Generals now will snap it down courtesy Brandon Nolan. And yes, he is the son of Ted Nolan. Ted Nolan, the former Sioux Greyhound and Buffalo Sabre coach. Ted now working with a Bantam team in St. Catharines as he awaits word on his NHL future. There has been some rumbling that maybe Ted might be in line for a job with the Calgary Flames if and when Greg Gilbert ever gets released from Calgary. Chambers has it on the outside. He's got Krychek back in the point. He'll play 30 minutes a game. Well, Krychek, his wrist shot goes wide. Horton on the puck, trying to clear it. Kept in by Dawson. And now Horton steals it again and throws it down the ice. Rick Elaine had an interesting comment on Dawson in terms of playing the point with Krychek before the game, didn't he, John?
Yeah, he sure did. He said he's got that little bit of he's like a decoy out there playing with Krychek, but he said he does have that good little Brewer type of wrist shot. from the point on the power play.
Dawson, the decoy, is now on the bench, replaced on the point by Mark Flood. Krychek, as we talked about, will stay out there. He'll play about a minute 30 on every power play and a minute 30 in every short-handed situation if Rick Elaine can work it. Cleared by Ranger. 20 seconds to go in attack time on this Peterborough power play. So far, it hasn't accomplished much. Krychek being puck pressured by Nolan. Now Nolan backs off a little bit. And Krychek will take the time to assemble the troops for one more rush. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Krychek, right wing pass. Ahead for House. And now young 16-year-old Jordan Morrison will take a shot at it. But Johnson comes back the other way. Generals back at full strength. Johnson, he's got Nolan in front. There's the backhand shot. And Curry will stop that. And now we get a collision behind that Peterborough Pete net. And so a physical tone has been set early in this game, and that's not to be unexpected between these two arch rivals.
Brandon Nolan gets a terrific opportunity from a pass at the blue line. Jamie Johnson will carry it over, but behind the play, Nolan pulls on Krychek, knocks him to the ice, and this is how he gets to be all alone going to the net. Nice scoring opportunity for the Generals on that play. But Owen Nolan being smart, and Johnson being the terrific passer that he is, he gets his head up and tries to get it to the slot. Nolan made a smart play on Krychek. Get by him any way you can.
An important game for that young man, Brandon Nolan. We talked about Nathan Horton and Eric Staal hoping to get invitations in their mailbox tomorrow when Team Canada announces the invitations for the World Junior program. And so it's very important for some of these young men to make a final statement before those invitations are announced at the news conferences around the country tomorrow. 3 separate news conferences being held around the country to name the team, including one in Toronto. And now the Oshawa Generals with their first power play opportunity of the night. Van Bellegui snapping it across for Nathan Horton. Horton to King to Eager. He's going to dial it up. Dangerous shot. And that one stung Curry. Horton back to the point for Cook. And Bellegui, the former Sioux Greyhound, with a wrist shot. King trying to set up the screen in front, but now Eric Staal clears it down the ice.
Nice shot by Ben Eager. He's right in the slot, one-time position. Remember, he scored 4 goals against the Petes last time in this building.
King rifles it in. And the Petes shoot it out again. 1 minute to go in the Oshawa General power play. And Johnson leads the attack. Always has his head up. He's fun to watch. Very good fundamentally. Trying to get it back to the line if he can. Is Petro losing control of the puck. Number 4 for the Generals, the draft pick of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. And Paul Ranger backing him up. Snaps it ahead for Johnson. Deals it deep into Peterborough Pete territory. Alzinga battling for the puck in the corner with Tobias Whalen. Whalen does so many little things well. He wins faceoffs, blocks shots, kills penalties, and obviously battling for the puck in the scrum as the whistle goes.
You mentioned Tobias Whalen being a tough customer to play against. Brandon Nolan also, he leads his team with 7 power play goals. One of the top guys in this team. He's really improved. Last year he struggled a bit, minus 46 rating. This year he's picked his game up playing more of a two-way type of a style, New Jersey type of style, the team he was drafted to in the NHL.
A 3rd-round pick of the New Jersey Devils. Nolan stays out there, gives it to Johnson. Into the corner for Tobias Whalen. Nolan top of the circle, back to the point. Petro, good low shot. Petro gets it back again to Nolan. House back on the ice. Both teams are scoreless with the power play. We almost had a goal, though. Right there as the Generals continue on the attack. Now the Petes will clear it right to the doorstep of Beckford-Tseu, and Ranger going back for it. Paul Ranger, draft pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning, ahead for Johnson. And it goes down the ice, and that's going to do it. A good pace has been set in the early going. We still await the game's first goal.
The Ontario Hockey League on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Grab, the science of skating.
Still scoreless from the Civic Auditorium in Oshawa tonight. Both teams 0 for 1 with a man advantage. John Neal, the former Stratford Culleton Junior B player. He wears number 3 for the Generals. He tried to clear it, and now the Generals do. Ryan Ham slugs it back in again. Beckford-Tseu sets it up for Selin. Selin always gets all sorts of room out there because, as we talked about, he's one of the most ferocious competitors in the Ontario Hockey League. He wears number 22. He has the puck, puts it high and hard up in the glass. And away come the Generals. Katsopoulos with a pass to Hewlett. Chris Hewlett poking and prodding against Brian Ham, the draft pick of the Dallas Stars. Card will throw it up on the boards. And it rolls down the ice. And Neal goes back for it. There's Nolan, stick handling in. Poked off the puck, and Krychek back the other way. He played 5 games last year with the Florida Panthers, did number 37. He didn't see any regular season time with the Florida Panthers this year, although he spent a month in training camp with the Panthers. Back to the point for Dawson. Chambers tried to get a hold of it. And it comes to Johnson. Krychek stayed with him. Coletta puts it on the boards, and now Chambers on the forecheck. Ranger behind the net. Patrick Coletta, the young 16-year-old from New York, has it. And he throws it deep at Oshawa General territory. And Coletta, one of the hardest body checkers in the Ontario Hockey League, already has that reputation as a 16-year-old. He wears number 20 for the Petes. Johnson heads back the other way. Passing in front, deflecting in off Mark Flood, but Curry was right there to stop it. And Flood, the Peterborough Pete defenseman, needed some backup help from his buddy Curry, and he got it. Now Curry will scoop that puck and hold it for a face-off. But a dangerous play for David Curry, and the veteran 20-year-old right there.
Curry had to make a key stop here. A pass being thrown through the slot. Mark Flood skating backwards, and a good play by the Oshawa. Got the puck to the front of the net, hit the guy going to the net with traffic. But it hits Flood's skate and goes right into Curry's pads. Johnson again making a play to the slot. As Flood's backing in, Curry makes another big save.
Puck is loose. Curry looking for it. And Greg Williams of the Peterborough Petes cleared it himself. Johnson holds it in. Katsopoulos, boy oh boy, he was really going to the bodies. And it's fortunate that Flood fell. That one would have hurt a lot. Yes, Petro goes back for it, the former Holder Cougar. Neal falls down. There's a short side shot. Beckford-Tseu got a piece of that. Now they bang away at it. And Beckford-Tseu right there. And the Peterborough Petes saying, hey, that puck crossed the line, but the referee was right there to say no. Brad Beer on the scene, and they were really, John, jamming at that puck.
Well, this is the type of thing the Petes need to start to do, and they have not been doing this of late. They've been very soft to play against. But once the puck gets into the slot area, the good job by Robinson getting it to the slot, but they continue to pressure right in front of the goaltender. They don't stop there, and he keeps on battling. And these are the types of things. You got to pay the price, and that's what Robinson's doing right there, paying the price to try to score some goals.
Well, the Peterborough Petes trying to get through the first 10 minutes of this period, and so far so good. 10:50 to go in period 1, and Beckford-Tseu will hold on to it. But Rick Elaine said that was the key thing coming into Oshawa, where the Generals have been so hot at home, 8 wins in 11 games here. You've got to get through the 10 minutes of the first part of the period.
Right on the goal line, the puck, they're questioning where this puck crossed the goal line. It was in the net and bounced back out, but obviously the referee didn't see that one.
Well, then the key becomes, when did the whistle go, and was the net off its mooring? So many questions. And they don't play with the video replay in the Ontario Hockey League, so we've got the benefit of that, but obviously the referee doesn't. So a lot of questions on that play. Too many questions, I guess, to make it a legal goal. So we are still scoreless. Play whistle down on the offside, and Tardif got spun around, and there's definitely a feisty spirit in the air, just like when you used to be part of this rivalry. We talked about that, John Druce, the former Peterborough Pete, and there was nothing like Peterborough and Oshawa games back in the old days. Can we call them the old days, John, when you played?
Yeah,
That's safe to say?
Yeah, I guess it would be the old days. No, I'll tell you, playing against the Oshawa Generals, I even think back at times when I was watching Steve Eisman play a couple years before I started. Stevie came out of here with some cuts and bruises, stitch in his lip, and it was always a physical flair in this building between these two teams.
Here's Hewlett stealing the puck. Moving down the left side, he's got Raftis in front. Macaron is there, and he's hard to miss. He's 6'7", 220 pounds. He wears number 20 for the Generals. And he just keeps getting better and better and better, says George Burnett and the Oshawa General coaching staff. It takes some time when you're a young man to grow into that big body and get used to it, but Macaron really coming around. One of their most improved players. Morrison, the young 16-year-old, gets bodied. Katsopoulos socks it in. And the Petes go back for it. Curry dropping it off. And Elzinga gets it up to the center ice region. Paul Ranger slides it over to Raftis. To Brandon Nolan. Bouncing puck. And the Petes trying to settle things down. Patrick Coletta, the native of Auburn, New York, backhands it down, and Sullen will retreat. Up ahead for Nolan, bouncing off his skates. Nolan gets it back again. Krychek trying to pinch down. Went off his skates out the center ice. Johnson with a backhand attempt. And now Dawson will bring it in. Right wing pass. Shot on the fly right into the breadbasket of Beckford-Tseu. Beckford-Tseu playing well. David Curry down at the other end doing the same. And that's one of the reasons we are scoreless. Some of the best hockey we've seen on CHL Sportsnet telecasts has featured this matchup, the interleague matchup between the Hull Olympique and the Ottawa 67s, and another installment coming up next Sunday at 8 o'clock. Now let's take a look at the previous chance in the first period.
This is where Robinson's banging away. You hear the whistle go. You heard the whistle go after the puck had bounced back out of the net, so it looked like it was a goal that the Petes didn't get credit for.
And what a great opportunity that would have been for Peterborough to draw first blood. A slumping hockey team looking to build their confidence, and that opportunity denied. Now Stahl doing some stick handling, stopped by Horton, and Horton and Stahl know each other very well. Teammates on the Team Canada team that won gold at the World Under-18 Championships this summer in the Czech Republic. Comes back to the line for Dawson. Slides it over to Krychek. Krychek with a snapshot. Big traffic. Beckford-Tseu has no idea where that puck is, and that was kind of humorous because there was such a scrum in front. I could see the puck from my vantage point going over the glass. Beckford-Tseu had no idea.
Well, they have been struggling lately getting the puck on net. 1-5-0 their last 6 games, but this team, like I said earlier, they need to get gritty, get an edge, get a little character to the team. They've been very soft to play against. Get to that puck to the net and play hard.
Chambers in front for Coletta, bouncing off his stick and rolling softly to Beckford-Tseu, but this is not an example of treading softly as both teams continue to push and shove, and it's been a physical game in the hit department. Peterborough with 8 hits, Oshawa with 6 hits. And we played about 12 minutes in this hockey game, so they've really been going to the body.
Well, you speak of hitting, and this Patrick Coletta, the young 16-year-old, leads the team in hits this year. Every game he plays very hard, scored his first goal on Friday night. Took him 26 games to do it, but he finally got it. Really concentrates a lot on hitting, taking the man every time he's on the ice.
A 7-4 loss for Peterborough in that game against Kingston. They also played on Thursday and lost 5-3 to the Ottawa 67s. And speaking of Ottawa, what a huge victory for the Oshawa Generals 1 week ago when they beat Ottawa 3-1 right at the Civic Center in Ottawa. We mentioned that Oshawa General victory in Ottawa 1 week ago, a 3-1 conquest over the 67s, ending Ottawa's 14-game unbeaten streak, and it was also their first loss at home this year. So a big win for the Generals, and another example of how well they've been playing. Williams with a wrist shot, and again Beckford-Tseu closes the door. Oshawa is hot as anybody right now in the Ontario Hockey League.
Well, you mentioned how hot they've been lately. Last 7 games, they have 6 wins. Unbelievable team. This team has been playing shorthanded most of the season. They've been without Horton for the longest time. Ben Eager has had suspensions, and they still have got the job done.
And they're coming off a stretch of 5 straight on the road. They picked up 9 of a possible 10 points, and we were kidding Barclay Branch, one of the assistant coaches with the Generals, before the game, and I said, what happened in Guelph when you got the 3-3 tie? Why didn't you win that one? And he said, well, we were down 3-1 in the third. I said, well, that's not bad. Here's Johnson now trying to get that pass in front. Too far for him, and he was covered well. Johnson gets it back again. He's being held off, and now Nolan comes in to have a look. Nolan, top of the line, trying to get it to Whalen. He does. Back to Nolan. This is pretty to watch. Will he shoot? Yes, he will. And Curry got a piece of that puck. There was an open portion of that net, but Nolan just couldn't quite find it as Curry challenged him and got a piece of it. And now Chambers will deal it in. And the Petes making a full-scale change. Just under 7 minutes to go, first period. We are live from the Civic Auditorium in Oshawa. Mike Toth along with John Druce. Great to have you along for the ride. Van Eager over the line, loads it up. And we saw earlier in the first period, he does have a solid shot. He really stung Curry with a shot from the left side earlier in the contest. Now Colt King, there's a wrist shot. Curry with a butterfly stop. Try-check. Gets it ahead for Williams. Long pass for Chad Robinson. Too far for him. Petro will try and calm things down and get it back to the neutral zone. Elzinga gets it in over the line. Robinson is bodied hard. Big battle between Robinson and Petro going on. Stahl has it. Moving down. Takes the backhand shot. Beckford-Tseu is there. There's a rebound. And Tardif had a crack at it. So the Peterborough Petes with a number of golden opportunities to get the game's first goal, but Beckford-Tseu has been there. Now Horton knocked down by Tardif. Tardif has the puck up ahead for Stahl. Brings it in over the line for Patterson. And it was behind him, and the play is whistled down on the offside. Some bodies flying, some good stops, and some great talent. Adds up to a great game. Some breaking news on Sportsnet News. The San Jose Sharks have fired their entire coaching staff. Cap Raider, the new man in San Jose, and Doug Wilson, the former Ottawa 67, the new assistant coach with the Sharks. Peter Labardius and RJ Broadhead have full details following the hockey game.
Well, Eric Staal had a tremendous chance against Beckford-Tseu. This is what Eric Staal does best. He uses his body well, protects the puck, and he drives to the net well. And this is the reach that he shows getting around the defenseman. Nice play by Staal. Nice save by Beckford-Tseu.
So 5:42 to go in the first period, and we are still scoreless. So Rick Elaine has to be very, very happy with the fact that they got through the first 10 and now almost 15 minutes of this first period, because he said before the game Oshawa has a reputation of really coming out hard in the first 10 minutes, especially in their own building. Hewlett behind the net. Macaron is in front. They're trying to feed big Macaron, but he was covered well. And the Petes will deal that puck back out to center ice. Selin puts it off the boards. Morrison going back for it. He only has one goal so far this year, the young 16-year-old. Last year, he was one of the big snipers with the Toronto Red Wings as they won the Ontario Bantam Championship. He wears number 9 for the Petes. He has it now and clears it around the corner boards. Robinson gets it to Card. Ryan Card, number 11 for the Petes. He can play up front. He can play defense. And with the Petes having some injury problems back on the blue line, Card moving back to play defense in this game tonight. And now Curry will freeze it for a faceoff.
You mentioned Jordan Morrison, how important he was to his Bantam team last year. In that championship game with the Bantams of the Toronto Red Wings, he scored a hat trick in that final game. Has tremendous talent, scored his first goal last week against Plymouth. Took him 25 games to do it. He was a little frustrated, but I'm sure it's nice to get that monkey off his back. Rick
Elaine was telling us that it's not a strange thing for a 16-year-old, obviously, to have a scoring drought like that. Eric Staal went through it as a 16-year-old, and Jamie Tardif, the same situation, and both of them ended up scoring around 20 goals in their 16-year-old campaigns. And now John House is going to sit down on the roughing call, and we'll see the Oshawa General power play for the second time tonight with 4:27 to go in the first.
Well, John House, one of the top penalty killers on this team. They usually use Stahl and him on separate units. They have the solidity out there, but with him in the box, they're going to have to spread things out a bit.
The first power play opportunity that the Generals had, they only had 2 shots on goal, as the Petes did a very effective job killing that power play opportunity. Now Horton, he'll clear it in, and Johnson going to have a look at it. Elzinga clears it around, but Horton keeps it in. Johnson Puts it behind for Colt King, number 11 for the Generals, the draft pick of the Colorado Avalanche. And Colt King, too, hoping for an invite to Team Canada's World Junior Camp. And the invitation list is extended tomorrow. There's a high, hard shot, nowhere near the net. Ranger holds it in. Johnson setting up camp, being pressured by Mark Flood. Rick Elaine, the Peterborough coach, was telling us that Flood right now is his best defensive defenseman. And the Petes clear it down again.
Well, Flood did a good job behind the net, taking the body, starting to use it. He's put some weight on this year, able to play a little bit more physical.
Well, they get physical along the sideboards, and Johnson has it behind his own net. 50 seconds to go in attack time in the General power play. 3:15 to go in a scoreless first period. Elzinga, a veteran 20-year-old from Illinois, clears it along the boards. Now Nolan in front. Horton trying to snap it. Really couldn't get a hold of that puck the way he wanted to. Johnson stick handling. In front for King. One-timer. Curry read that beautifully. Back for Petro. To Nolan, top of the circle. Threads the needle over to Horton. Can't shoot. Petro, everybody yelling shoot. He does. Petro gets it back. Penner did a great job blocking that shot. Now Nolan. They're trying to feed it to him. 10 seconds to go in attack time in a power play. The Generals throwing it around nicely. King spinning off his check shot, goes wide. Johnson again, very crafty behind that net. John House ready to leap into action from the penalty box. And wouldn't you know it, as soon as he gets back on the ice, the Petes are going to pick up another penalty, and that wasn't a smart one, John.
No, not at all. But Lucas Krajicek just trying to get the body on Johnson. And here's what happens when you turn quickly. He's trying to get him. And just as his back's facing him, he pushes him to the boards. You can't hit from behind like that. I know Krajicek just worried about him getting away from him in the last second, because Johnson being one of the shiftiest players in the league. So tough call for Lucas Krajicek, just trying to play his man tough.
Well, when you see that on the replay, I said not a smart penalty, but it's easy from up here. Down on the ice, and you raise a great point. That's just a reaction thing, isn't it?
For sure.
But be that as it may, a penalty was called, and the Generals look very sharp on that power play, go right back to work. And just over 2 minutes to go in the scoreless first. Tobias Whalen, the native of Orillia, Ontario, gets it in front for Eager, and his shot goes wide. We've seen Eager unload a couple of times in his first period. Now Eric Staal, so swiftly, over the blue line, feeds it in tight. And Tardif was checked well by Van Belagoe. Back comes Hewlett. Brings it in over the blue. Puts on the brakes now. Gets it back to the line for Tyler Cook. To Van Belagoe. Takes the shot. To Cook. Moving in. Takes the shot. And Curry got a hold of that puck. And the veteran 20-year-old has done a great job so far in goal for Peterborough tonight. And that's something that we shouldn't really be surprised about, because he has been good for the most part all year long.
No, you can't overlook that. Curry's kept the team in the games, but Tyler Cook gets a nice shot on net. The Generals were 1 for 8 so far this week on the power play. He has a lone power play goal. That was their second power play unit. Their first unit's on now.
And boy, did they ever move that puck around well on that last power play opportunity. It's going to be fun to watch them again, and here we go. Horton. With Johnson, back to Horton. Ranger, he's ready to go. Now Colt King turns and fires. Stick save Curry. Back to Horton, not wasting any time. And Curry through a crowd plucks it out of the air.
Well, Curry has to be strong. They're getting a lot of opportunities because guys like Colt King, this is his job on the power play. Just stand in front of the net, directions. The puck gets back to the point, and there's King right in the slot. Nice one-timer, no hesitation. He's getting his opportunities because he's in the right position.
40 seconds to go in the power play. And now Chambers with a short-handed break. Takes a shot, he scores! I don't know how he got that open, but he did.
Well, I was talking to Greg Chambers before the game started. He knows he's been struggling lately. And we talked about how he needed to get to the slot into the gritty areas, but this one here is just a nice chance and a shorthanded opportunity. He gets behind the Oshawa defense, and he scored 41 goals last year, so doesn't miss many of those. Comes in on the goal, he's got his head up, And Greg Chambers probably has the best release in the Ontario Hockey League. He can really shoot that puck really well. That's the Pete's third shorthanded goal in 3 games.
And what a big goal for their confidence. A struggling hockey club coming in. Perhaps they should have been credited with a goal earlier in the period. A much discussed topic on our telecast here tonight. But the goal that maybe was a goal was disallowed, but they've got a true goal now, a shorthanded goal from Chambers, and it's 1-0. 5 seconds to go on this Oshawa General power play. They're going to have to hurry if they get anything out of it, and they're not going to, as the Petes will bring it out. And actually, as Krychek came out of that penalty box, it hit him, and they whistle it down with 20 seconds to go in the first period, and the Petes on the board. Coming up in our first intermission, lots to pass on your way. That Sportsnet news update as we get more information on the firing of Daryl Sutter and his staff in San Jose. We'll go one-on-one with Eric Staal and, of course, the play of the period. And I think that Chambers goal will probably be it.
I would hope so. It's a pretty play. Nice goal by Chambers.
And we got a great look at it, the low-angle camera shot. There's Chambers, the sniper, moving in on Beckford-Tseu, and it was a thing of beauty. Now here's another opportunity. Patterson busting through, takes the shot. Beckford-Tseu with the stop. And Peterborough, certainly with their best period of hockey in a long, long time, as they will go to the dressing room in Oshawa tonight with a 1-0 edge.
Well, it's a nice opportunity. Good play in the neutral zone by Greg Chambers, setting up Josh Patterson. He comes through. Nice hook by the defender. Kotsopoulos getting back on Patterson. Just hooks him at the last second. Doesn't get everything on the shot.
Chambers, your goal scorer. Peterborough, the team in front. It's 1-0 after 20.
Hi there, I'm RJ Broadhead in the Sportsnet News studio. We'll get you back to the second period shortly, but big news out of San Jose. The Sharks have fired their whole coaching staff. We'll have more tonight on Sportsnet News. Let's get you updated on some basketball action. The Raptors visiting the Grizzlies. Vince Carter had a pretty good game on Friday against Boston, 24 points. First quarter action, Carter from beyond the arc. He's got some time, hits it, needs only 21 more points to get to that 24. He did have a good day. Third quarter, Pau Gasol going baseline, the two-handed jam. Grizzlies up by 5. Then Vince, again, driving. Oh, little left-handed layup. Raptors trailing by 1 in the fourth quarter. Drew Gooden, little jump hook. Vince Carter, a huge block. That was crucial. Gooden will have another opportunity. Driving again. This time, it won't go. Shane Battier right there to finish with a jam, though. Memphis up by 3 late in the fourth. Alvin Williams with Toronto down by 1, goes coast to coast, gives the Raptors a 1-point lead with seconds remaining. Raptors up by 3. They get the ball. Alvin Williams to Vince Carter. Big jam. Raptors win it 92-87. Vince Carter had a season-high 27 points. Alvin Williams pretty good. He had 20. Shane Battier led the Grizzlies with 14. NFL action, Miami and Buffalo. Jay Fiedler dressed for the game. He missed 6 weeks with a thumb injury. He didn't get the start. Ray Lucas did in the second quarter. Under pressure, he fumbles. The Bills will come up with the ball. It would lead to a touchdown, and the Bills would have a 17-14 lead at the half in the third quarter. Lucas didn't see the hit coming. He was hammered. He was shaken. He would leave the game. That means Jay Fiedler comes in. On the next possession, he hands to Ricky Williams on a snowy field in Buffalo, and Williams breaks it. He will not be caught. 55 yards for the score, finished with 228 yards rushing, a team and personal record. Drew Bledsoe hits Peerless Price. Nice little move there. That snowy field comes in handy, and Peerless Price has got the wheels. 77 yards. Bills up by a field goal after a Dolphins fumble. Next Bills possession. Bledsoe deep to Eric Moulds. It's tipped. He still comes up with it. 31-21. Bills. Bledsoe's last 2 passes total 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bills win at 38-21. Ricky Williams, a big game, but it wasn't enough as the Bills end their 3-game losing slide. In the NHL, the Lightning visiting the Rangers. Pavel Bure and his club enter with 4 wins in their last 5 games at home. 1-0 Lightning. Ronald Petrovitsky in the second gets it over to Pavel Bure. He's waiting for it. Head the open cage. Ties the game at 1. Third period. Brian Leach going down the left wing side. Top of the circle, lets it fly. Big rebound into the slot. Nikolai Habibulin got a skate on Sandy McCarthy's rebound attempt off the post. Stayed out. Radek Dvorak to Pavel Bure. There's his second of the game. Tied at 3. 18 seconds after that. A scramble in front. Mark Messier banging away, but it's Ronald Petrovitsky that gets it. Rangers win it 4-3. Tampa's defense has been pretty solid. Dan Boyle, Nolan Pratt each had assists. Tampa Bay defensemen have 50 points in 24 games. But the Rangers get the victory. Other NHL action, Atlanta trimmed Washington 5-4. Tony Herkus scored with just over a minute remaining. Atlanta still 6 points behind Washington in the Southeast Division. Coming up on Sportsnet News tonight with myself and Peter Labardius, we will have all the details from San Jose as the Sharks clean house. Big day in the NFL, of course. We'll run it down for you, and Tiger takes on Phil Mickelson, Marco Mir, and Freddie Couples at the Skins game. We'll have more on Sportsnet News tonight.
We've got a good one going from Oshawa tonight, and a good one on the menu for you 1 week from tonight, as it's the Hull Olympique and the Ottawa 67. The traditional interleague rivalry continues. A great rivalry between Peterborough and Oshawa. And with me now, Eric Staal, the Peterborough Petes. You guys have been struggling, Eric. Was that your best period as a team for a while?
Definitely. I thought last game we played, we started to play better. We lost bad, but I mean, we worked hard the whole time. And I mean, I thought this period we came out hard, strong, working every shift, and it was pretty good for us.
Let me ask you this. It's going to be a sleepless night for you, I'm sure, because tomorrow the invitations are extended for Team Canada and the World Junior Training Camp. Everybody expects that you're going to get invited, but do you know that they give you a heads up early, or are you going to have to wait with the rest of us?
No, I have no idea. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be tense, I know, for tonight, but I'm really looking forward to hearing what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, it'd be an awesome experience, but you don't know what's going to happen. I just have to wait for everyone else.
Well, yeah, it's going to be very interesting, to say the least, for you and everybody else. Everybody wants to be a part of that team, no question about it. What has been the problem lately with the Peterborough Petes? If you can put your finger on it, what would you say?
I don't know, really. I mean, we've been working pretty hard as a whole, but I mean, sometimes things weren't going our way. But I think we got to be more consistent as a team. And I mean, tonight, I think this period we played pretty hard as a whole, and I think we got to be more consistent with that.
Well, so far so good. That was a great opening 20. Hey, take me back to when you were growing up in Thunder Bay and tell me a little bit about that outdoor rink that you guys had set up in the backyard, because it had regulation boards and everything, didn't it?
Yeah, when I was younger, I have 3 younger brothers, so I mean, my dad set up a rink with boards and lights, 50 feet by 100, and we've had some pretty mean games out there, and it's pretty intense, but it was a great tool for me growing up to become a hockey player, and I'm really thankful for it.
Well, from the outdoor rink to Peterborough to Team Canada at the World Junior Championships in Halifax, that would be a great journey. Keep it up, Eric. Continued success tonight and the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Eric Staal, the great young Peterborough Pete, doing some battling in that first period, and all that battling sometimes pays off with opportunities, and all Eric wants is a chance to play for Team Canada, too. The play of the period, just 1 goal in that period, but what a goal it was. The Peterborough Petes working it up. John House to Greg Chambers, a shorthanded breakaway. He goes nose to nose with Beckford-Tseu, and Chambers wins that battle. 1-0 for the Petes after 1.
The Ontario Hockey League on Sportsnet. Brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Well, it's too bad that John Druce is a former Peterborough Pete, because here in Oshawa, John, look at that. They erased your name from that sign here tonight. That's unfortunate.
Were you out handing out signs before the game again, Mike?
That's why I was late, man. You know it. First period summary. John, take us through it.
Well, Greg Chambers was a recipient of a shorthanded goal. John House chipped the puck out of the zone and put the Petes on the board. They had a couple good chances. Actually, one chance where a goal wasn't counted, so good thing that the Petes came out on top of that period, 1-0. George Burnett was concerned about the Petes coming into this building. Always a tough game when Peterborough comes to town. Even though Oshawa's been playing very well, the Petes have been struggling, you still have to be worried. Coach Rick Alain's got to be happy with his team the way they played in the first period. They played gritty, played very well in the penalty kill, getting a shorthanded goal. He's got to be happy with his effort in the first period.
No doubt about that. The shorthanded goal from Chambers, and away we go in the second period. And all of a sudden, Peterborough looking a lot more confident. Here's Eric Staal, speaking of confidence, moving in, backhand shot, he scores! I think he wants to play for Team Canada at the World Juniors. We had that interview at the first intermission, and I think he's definitely going to be on that list, and that's why.
Well, Eric Staal, he did it in the first period, drives so well on his backhand going to the net, doesn't stop moving his feet, but Van Bella-Gouy falls to the ice as Staal comes through the neutral zone with some speed, keeps on going. Van Bella-Gouy comes, nice hit and backhand play, just puts it behind the pad of Beckford-Tseu. Beckford-Tseu got across the crease nicely there, just didn't get there enough.
Well, what puck patience by Staal, because you're right, Beckford-Tseu really came across well, and now we've got a big battle inside that Peterborough blue line. And this is what the rivalry that we've been talking about is all about.
Well, this top line of Oshawa, Horton, Eager, King playing against Eric Stahl's line, and their job is to throw them off their game. Eager and King are very physical style players. Horton has that edge to him also. But right off the middle, you see Horton going after Stahl. And this is a good play for the Oshawa team. They have to set a precedent here that they're not going to be coming into our building and jumping up on the scoreboard by 2 goals without paying a price. And this is what the Oshawa Generals have been known to do, play physical. And that's why they're a good team, because they have the depth to play very physical.
It's interesting to see these young Turks going after one another. Nathan Horton, the reason that George Burnett lost him from the lineup for a month was the fact that Horton got into a fight with Anthony Stewart, who's expected to be a high first-round pick in this summer's NHL draft. And now you see Horton going up against Eric Staal. So these young Mavericks trying to prove to the NHL scouts, and there's always lots in attendance when these young men are playing, that they've got the physical edge on one another, and I guess that's what it's all about.
Well, if there's any difference between Eric Staal and Nathan Horton, is that physical edge. Horton brings that toughness to his game, plays very physical. Now, Eric Staal, he has the offensive flair to do it. He's got the points to back his game up and the skill to back his game up. But the one thing that may be missing is that physical presence where he can go out and maybe create some room by getting in a fight or just having that nasty edge to him.
Stahl and Horton know each other very well. We mentioned that in the first period. Playing on all of the under 17 and under 18 programs for Team Canada, and hopefully one day getting a chance to suit up together for the Team Canada World Junior program. And we mentioned Horton's injury. That's the only reason why some people are wondering whether or not Horton is going to be an invitation for Team Canada's tryout camp when they're released tomorrow, because he's missed so much time this year. I believe he should be invited based on his talent. After all, Central Scouting has him tabbed as the #1 prospect in the Ontario Hockey League for this summer's draft. But you have to remember, John, there's so many great players from around the country. We're talking about 3 leagues.
Well, George Burnett agrees with you, because I spoke with him when we were in Kitchener earlier this week at the All-Star game. He said he'd be surprised if he wasn't invited to that camp.
Here's Stahl over the line, threading the pass across the Krychak. What a beautiful goal!
Beautiful play by Eric Staal again. Creates so many things. He's patient with the puck, and you mentioned that earlier, how patient he is with that puck. But this is Lucas Krychak makes his play with his speed coming up the ice. Nobody gets to him, and you know what? You can't catch him anyway, because he is so fast and has the ability to get up ice so quick. But Stahl's got his head up the whole way. Krychak just a nice one-timer into the net behind Beckford-Tseu.
Well, Lucas Krychak will definitely be playing at the World Juniors, just like he did last year for the Czech Republic. He leaves on December 16th, the Czech Republic having their training camp in Canada for the World Junior Championships that go in Halifax. So Krychak and Stahl teaming up. Now moving in, there's Whalen with a shot, goes over the net. 3-0. The Peterborough Petes in front of the red-hot Oshawa Generals, but the Petes have been the ones who have been hot tonight. Chambers, he got the short-handed goal in the first period. Now he lugs the puck. Stopped by Katsopoulos. Brings it in over the line. Fun to watch, the 4-on-4 hockey, and that's why there was so much open real estate for Stahl and Krychak to use on that last goal. Chambers with a long shot. Beckford-Tseu turns it aside. Now Whalen charging to the attack. He's by himself as the Generals are making changes. Whalen just golfs it in behind the net. Nolan is there. He's got Petro in front, trying to feed him. Too far in front of him. And now Chambers has it at center ice, slowing things down and sending it deep into general territory. Nolan to the speedy Johnson. And again, he's by himself. You've got to get up there and give him some help. There's a shot by Johnson, and it hit the inside of the post. And the fans reacting, they thought it was in. It goes in off the inside of the post, and there's another replay we'll be taking a close look at, the first chance we get. Johnson kicks it to Nolan. Nolan in front for John Neal, backhand shot. Johnson has it again. And Johnson creating something out of nothing on that last play. I mentioned he needs some help. Apparently not. Well, a quick shot, and it was a dangerous shot too, John.
Good individual effort. Got the shot away and surprised David Curry hitting the post and bouncing out.
Well, I think Curry was like me. It was a 1-on-3 situation. He wasn't expecting anything that dangerous from Johnson, but that was a dangerous dart, no question. And the fans still grumbling about that. Some of them still believe that puck was in. We'll have to have a look at that one. Johnson now clears it in, goes to the bench for a change. Ben Eager battling for the puck down low. Here comes Eric Staal. Boy, what a first couple of minutes he's had in the second period with a goal and a helper. Stahl to Tardif. There's a shot right on. Turned aside by Beckford-Tseu. Colt King for Eager. Moving in. Takes the shot. Curry got a piece of it. Puck loose in the corner. Now they open things up. It's back to 5-on-5 hockey now, but nothing has changed. They go end to end. Ranger chopping at Elzinga. King leaving the puck for Eager. Now big Josh Patterson on his knees makes the play. Clears it down the ice, and Peterborough making some quick changes with 16:30 to go in the second period. And the Petes on 2 early second period goals, leading the Generals 3-0. Card took a slash. That one hurt, but he's still on the ice. Hewlett now. No room, so he just dishes the puck in. Ryan Ham over to Card, being pressured by Macaron. Hewlett takes the shot, doesn't get through. Chambers trying to clear it, just does. And now it comes back to Mike Selland. Here's Petro in the corner, over to Mike Selland. Soplis waits for the puck, and he's got it. Up the head for Petro. Moving in, takes the long shot. Curry, who's been perfect so far tonight, making the easy stop. Now Hewlett trying to bust in front. Back come the Petes. Greg Williams charging down that right side, being held up by Selland. Well, Robinson fell behind the net, and Johnson with the pass ahead to the speeding Nolan. Checked effectively by Krychek. Williams deals it in, and that's going to be the automatic icing. And yes, they have gone to the automatic icing format in the Ontario Hockey League this year, just in case you're curious about that.
Well, Jamie Johnson had that shot earlier in the period. The play has been going on for the 5 minutes so much, but he did have a good shot at that post. Ben Eager had another good opportunity, and Curry gives him a lot of room on the right-hand side. Curry's just a small goalie. He came out and got his glove on it real quick, but Eager with a nice shot on net. Good opportunity.
And now you really have to wonder about the Sportsnet curse on the Oshawa Generals, because the last 4 games that the Generals have appeared on Sportsnet, they've now, John, been outscored 23-4. And believe me, they're aware of that. There's a collision as King goes down, and now Curry will hold on for another face-off, and Eager getting his stick up on one of the Petes with 14:39 to go in the second, and the Petes leading 3-0.
Physical hit at center ice. The players are playing hard, and this is what this line creates with King, Horton, Eager on that ice, and Josh Patterson, tough customer, Colt King. They're going to have a physical game all night long because both of these players are physical players.
Neal throws it into the corner. And then again, the Petes clear it back out to center ice. And a play whistle down on the offside. What about this curse talk, John? As I say, the last 4 games, Oshawa on Sportsnet has now been outscored 23-4. They don't like it when we show up.
No, they don't. And George Burnett, even every time we see him, he says, we're going to have a good game this time. We're going to have a good game this time. And this, again, is a 3rd game in 3 nights for Oshawa. And with Peterborough struggling the way they had been, I thought that maybe this matchup would be a little bit closer. But Peterborough is coming out strong playing this game. They had the night off yesterday after playing 2 Thursday and Friday. So they do have the fresher legs.
2 years ago on Sportsnet, right here in this building, they lose 6-2 to Shawinigan as Chambers moves in. They score! Chambers snapping it in front. And Kadatsky, did he get a piece of that puck? They threw it at the front of the net, and there was some traffic in front. Chambers made the initial play. The bottom line is this. It's 4-0 for the Petes, and George Burnett says it's that dreaded Sportsnet curse again.
Well, Greg Chambers really stepped up. He's got patience, makes a little fake, and throws it. It goes off the defenseman of John Neal as he's sliding back. Nice goal off a deflection off the defenseman, trying to prevent the pass going through the crease. But Beckford-Tseu, you can't have a chance on that. You expect the pass to get through, and when it goes off a skate, there's not much you can do about that.
I wasn't sure if Kadatsky in front got a piece of that. Obviously not, but it's good to see Kadatsky is back because very early in the first period, John, he got shook up. So that's great news for Peterborough. Everything going their way right now.
Very good. As Kadatsky missed a lot of games earlier with a separated shoulder at the first of the season, so it's good to see that he's still in the lineup.
Now Jordan Morrison gets it behind the net. Paletta in front. The young 16-year-old had it go off his stick. And the Petes looking so confident right now. 1-5 in their last 6 games, all doom and gloom. But they come into Oshawa tonight, and so far, so good. Morrison. He's on the puck again. Loose in front. Paletta fanning on the shot, being roughed up by Raptors. And now finally the Generals will steer it down the ice. Here's Hewlett. He's going to get there first. Backhand pass in front for Big Macaron, the former Windsor Spitfire behind that net. Being hassled by Ham. And it goes into the corner, and Hewlett is there to track it down. Macaron trying to get it in front. Mike Ramsey, number 19 for the Petes, just leaves it there, and now Peterborough is going to pick up a penalty. So obviously the Oshawa Generals trying to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and get something going for George Burnett.
Brian Ham in the penalty box for a hooking. Goes after Kotsopoulos, misses him with a slash, but the referee catches the hook after the play, and Kotsopoulos playing it up a little bit, goes down to make sure the ref doesn't miss it.
Generals trailing 4-0, and they are 0 for 3 with a man advantage, and they also gave up that short-handed goal late in the first period, courtesy Greg Chambers. Chambers now with 2 goals on the night. Eric Staal with 1, Lucas Krychek with the other, all part of a 4-0 lead for the Petes, and now they'll try and kill off the penalty. Generals just desperate to try and get something going. Coming off a big 4-1 victory last night in Belleville. They've been rolling right along. Not tonight. Ranger to Johnson. Across for Brandon Nolan. Ranger takes the shot. Pad save. Curry. Puck still loose. Colt King whacking away at it. No. Nolan tried to snap it over to Eager. Comes off the corner boards. Ranger holds it in. Nolan says, give it a me. Tries the one-timer, misfires. Eager again back to Nolan. To Johnson, top of the circle. Ranger, he unloads, blocked by Tardif. Johnson has it again, trying to get it through to Nolan. Now Nolan has it. Johnson to Ranger, everything on the outside. Ranger, pad save, Curry, puck loose, he makes another save as he stuck that pad inside the post, and they just could not jam it home. Ranger holds it in, now he moves in. And Tardif did a great job sliding across.
Oh, he did a terrific job. They're looking to set up Brandon Nolan here, playing on the point, which he's normally in the forward position.
King digging it loose. Curry trying to hug that puck right on the post. Now King smashes Curry at the side of the net, and that's obviously going to be a penalty. And that's just frustration on the part of Colt King and the Oshawa Generals right there, because really that wasn't a smart play, hitting Curry like that, and Curry going for a bit of a skate.
Well, Colt King gets to the front of the net here and creates a lot of chances. There he is right there, going to the net, trying to get the puck loose and make something happen. And it doesn't surprise me that Cole King does that, because he plays, when he's playing his best hockey, he's involved, making things happen, getting the other team off their game. He's taking another guy to the penalty box with him, probably one of their good penalty killers. Cole King will kick the guy off. And hopefully get the Oshawa Generals out there with a few more extra guys on the ice with the offensive talent.
David Curry doing a good job in goal for the Peterborough Petes tonight. And it's nice to have the veteran 20-year-old Curry, because he's done a really nice job with their young 17-year-old goaltender, Jeff McDougall, coaching him a little bit and telling him what to expect from the other shooters in the Ontario Hockey League. It's a nice relationship, isn't it, John?
It is a good relationship, and I spent a lot of time with Kay Whitmore. I played with him on the Petes lineup when I played junior, and he's working with the goalies this year. He is the goaltending coach, and says both of these guys are excellent kids. David Curry and Jeff McDougall, both competitors, want to learn, want to improve, and they take it upon their shoulders. When the team's not winning, they make sure that they don't feel good about it, and they express that to Kay. So he's trying to learn to help them and see how they can make their game better.
Just over 11 minutes to go in the second period, and the Petes in front 4-0. And now Peterborough in the power play for 1:35. Chambers, who has 2 goals tonight, sends it to the front of the net. Cook clears it, but not out. Dawson with a shot. Beckford-Tseu catches that, and he holds on. And Chris Beckford-Tseu, back on November 3rd in that Sportsnet game against Brampton, got pulled after the first period. Brampton eventually winning that game 7-2, but he's had another rough one on Sportsnet tonight.
Well, Beckford-Tseu's had a tremendous season. He's second in the league in wins. He has 12 wins. He's got 2 shutouts, so he has been solid. He was the first star in the game they played on Friday night, as well as Kevin Druce, the backup, was the first star in last night's game. So the goaltenders for Oshawa have been very stable and steady.
Dawson with a shot, and it goes up into the crowd and out of play with 10:44 to go in period 2.
And you mentioned, well, this is Kevin Druce. He's got 4 wins on the season. He played most of the games last year and played very well for the team. But Beckford-Tseu has really stepped up and become the #1 goalie for this Oshawa General team.
And again, we do this every time that we broadcast an Oshawa General game, but just to set the record straight, John Druce, you are not related to Kevin Druce, the goaltender, in any way, right?
No.
Not unless he signs a big NHL deal, and then you'll claim to be a long-lost relative, obviously.
That's right.
That's the way you operate, big boy.
That's the way you operate.
But he is a good goaltender, and Druce actually came into that game back on November 3rd, the Sportsnet game we worked against Brampton, and did a very good job the last 2 periods and kind of held his team in for a while after Beckford-Tseu, as we mentioned, got pulled after the opening frame. So he's a very dependable goaltender, no doubt about that.
Well, he's a fighter. When he gets up in there, he doesn't give up goals very easily. He's always battling in the nets.
Mark Flood leads the rush. Here's Krychek, who scored on that beautiful 2-on-1 earlier in this period with Eric Staal. Chambers moves to the middle. He's got a good shot, and he's going to use it. Beckford-Tseu snakes out that glove and holds on with 42 seconds to go in attack time in the Peterborough power play.
This is why Greg Chambers is so effective. He can open up and take this shot from almost any position. He switches and winds up, gets his shot away quickly. And we've seen that already in tonight's game with 2 goals already. Really shoots the puck very well. That's why he got 41 goals last year.
Confidence is a big part of his game, isn't it, John?
It is a big part of his game. He's gained a ton of it this year, even though it hasn't showed on the scoreboard as much.
I remember you talked to him last year, and he said, well, I can't believe I'm actually going to be playing the All-Star game. And you said, look, Greg, I mean, you deserve to be there, man. Look at your stats. So you had an interesting conversation with him last year about confidence.
Yeah, I remember that specifically. We were in Ottawa, and we talked about how he just didn't feel very comfortable. And he was a very quiet kid. Yeah. It was amazing. I could barely get a couple words out of him. This year, every time I see him around the rink, he's very open and loves to talk. So it's a good to see him develop.
Well, I think you guys have a certain affinity because we've talked enough, John, and I know you, that when you were a player, you said confidence was the big factor for you as a player. As the Generals bring it out, Horton moves in on the line, takes the shot, and Curry stopped that, and he stopped everything coming his way, and he does it one more time.
When we talk about Horton, how calm he is for a young player, he comes over the blue line, he looks up, and you can see him look at Nolan going to the net, and he sees that he's going, so he says, all right, I take a shot. The rebound lies there. There's Nolan banging hard at the net. Curry smartly covers the puck up.
We'll have a conversation with Nathan Horton after the second period, and boy, what a story. This is a kid who played junior B at the tender age of 13 and ended up leading his junior B team in playoff scoring. You talk about a player doing it in the clutch at a very young age. We're talking about Nathan Horton, and he had a great first-round series last year in the OHL playoffs against Belleville when he went head-to-head with Jason Spezza on numerous occasions and did a great job. Chris Beckford-Tseu needs some help from his teammates. They trail the Petes 4-0. Well, coming up on the hockey news tomorrow, we can hardly wait because, as we mentioned numerous times on this telecast tonight, Team Canada's World Junior team, the team that will go to training camp at least, will be announced, and we'll have a report on that. And then a great new show on Sportsnet. I love the Snapshots with Jim Hewson, as Jim will go one-on-one with Jim Schoenfeld, the longtime former NHLer, who is now an assistant coach for the New York Rangers. Should be fun. Snapshots with Jim Hewson. The snapshot of this game is simply this. All Peterborough as they lead 4-0 here in Oshawa tonight. There's a long shot. Curry controlling his rebounds very well tonight. And again, he brings it close to his body for the faceoff. "4-0, the Peterborough Petes in front of the Oshawa Generals, as the Generals win that faceoff, but they can't get the shot off. Ranger stays with it. Deflection by Johnson. And that goes out of play, and that's been the story for the Generals all night long. You look at Johnson, he's frustrated. Every time we get a look at George Burnett behind the bench, he's frustrated. The whole team is struggling tonight, and this is something that they didn't anticipate because they've been red hot of late.
Well, they really have. They went on this long road trip. They played so tremendous on this road trip, and you would expect them to come home and be strong. But I think what happens is that you put so much effort into winning on the road that you think things may get easier once you get home, and it just doesn't happen that way.
The 20-year-old Elzinga goes back for it for the Petes. Whalen traps that puck in. Elzinga will get another opportunity down in the corner. And he shows a lot of confidence with that puck as he gets it ahead for Tardif. Nice cross-ice pass for Stahl, bringing it over the line. Patterson charging to the front of the net, using his big 205-pound body to try and get something going. But the Generals bring it back the other way. Van Bellegui throws it deep into Peterborough territory. 8:15 to go in the second period. And the Petes continue to lead this one 4-0, and they continue to make changes. Johnson, head up. Pass ahead for Whalen. He gets spun around. And the Captain House puts it over the line. Here comes Chambers. He's got 2 goals. He's got confidence tonight. But a good defensive play by Tyler Cook to clear it away. Pass ahead for Whalen. Brings it over the line. Drops it for Johnson. Johnson, short side shot. Curry is there. Eager banging away. But Kadatsky comes away with the puck. Kadatsky from Russia was shaken up in the first period, but came back. And he's got an assist to his credit in the second period, as again, it goes over the glass and out of play.
Well, you mentioned Greg Chambers. Last year he had 41 goals. He's already got 2 goals in today's game. And Tardif played outstanding last year when Eric Staal got hurt. Eric Staal broke his wrist, and Tardif came into the lineup and really proved himself. He was playing on the 4th line most of last year, and that's when he stepped up his game.
And Rick Lane was telling us before the game that both of those guys snake-bitten this year. Well, Chambers alleviating that situation in a big way tonight with a short-handed goal and an even strength marker as well. Now Horton getting physical, down to his knees. Pushed off the puck by Elzinga. Ben Eager flying it loose for Horton in front, trying to stick handle his way in traffic, and he got roughed up. Back to the line for Selin. Just under 7 minutes to go in the second period. Oshawa trying to get some energy, trying to get something going, but Coletta brings it back the other way and rifles it in. Now he gives chase. Ranger. The Ben Eager. Oh, there's an explosion of bodies as Coletta and Eager, 2 of the toughest customers in the Ontario Hockey League, go nose to nose. And you've got to give Coletta credit because he already has a reputation, and he's only 16 years old. And he took on a first-round draft pick of the Phoenix Coyotes and live to tell about it because he still has that puck, and now he deals it in. That was an interesting confrontation, John.
A very good confrontation. Both those guys are tough customers, and that Coletta, only 16 years old, and hits every shift no matter what.
Here's another young 16-year-old, Jordan Morrison. He's battling for the puck. Still has it. Ramsey down low doing some forechecking. Robinson being muscled by Ranger. Off the glass and out, and hard off the glass. Ryan Card turning with the puck, throws it back in again. And the Petes, as they've been doing all night long, making some quick changes. Trying to keep that energy going. There's Ham. With Krychuk. Lucas Krychuk. Some people thought he was going to make the Florida Panthers this year. Pass ahead. Now they battle for it. Eric Staal overskated the puck. It was bouncing. And it comes for Macaron. To the native of Belarus, Tim Pillin down the left side. He continues to work for that puck. Got his stick up on Dawson. There's a shot by Nolan. Blocked in front by Krychuk. Comes back to the line. Van Bellegui holds it in. To Johnson. Down low for Pillin. Skipped over Nolan's stick. Cook holds it in. And puts it behind the net for Pillin.
Pillin doing an unbelievable job forechecking. He hitting everything in sight. Everybody that was in front of him finishing his check, and they actually created a couple opportunities for Jamie Johnson because of that.
Well, he's not a traditional European player in the sense that he loves to get in there and be a little buzzsaw. He plays a very physical style of hockey. I mentioned he's from Belarus, but actually played in Slovakia last year in their senior men's division. And now he finds himself with the Oshawa Generals. And the Generals find themselves trailing this game 4-0 with 4:20 to go in the second period. It was 1-0 after one on the shorthanded goal by Chambers, and it's been all Peterborough in period number 2. Flood trying to clear it, can't do it. But Chambers backing him up, lofts it down the ice, and that's going to be an icing call. Well, Ben Eager trying to get the body going and trying to get his team back in this one. Well, this game has been circled on hockey fans' calendars for a long time, and finally it has arrived. Darcy Tucker versus Michael Pekka, the Leafs versus the Islanders, coming up Friday at 7 o'clock on Mike Pekka, the former Ottawa 67. And I know you're not going to care about this, John, but I've just purchased a Mike Pekka Synergy hockey stick. But it's not working for me the way it works for Mike Pekka, I assure you.
That's because you're a goalie, Mike. Figure that one out.
Well, I used to be a goalie. Now I'm trying to be a forward, but I didn't grow up shooting the puck like you. Peterborough trying to get something going. And now Oshawa will finally score the goal as Nathan Horton roofs it. And Peterborough desperately trying to clear it to preserve that shutout bid for Curry, but Horton had other ideas, and finally Nathan Horton strikes, and finally these fans have something to cheer about.
Well, Nathan Horton does what he does best. He's driving to the net and picking up the loose change, because Eager takes that puck. That's why this line's so effective. Eager drives to the net, Horton follows it up, drives, and there's Cole King. This is why these guys are together. They create so much traffic and havoc out front. Now Horton picks up his 5th first goal of the season, so he's the one guy that gets the team on the board, and that's what they needed from him again, and he did it.
And Horton, fortunately for us, finally has something to smile about, because we're going to be chatting with Nathan during our second intermission. So Horton on the board, and so too in the Generals. Here's Eric Staal with a quick shot off the backboards. Patterson trying to jam at it, but Beckford-Tseu quick to get across that crease. Horton from Eager at 16:06, the goal that's narrowed the gap to 4-1.
Well, Horton gets the team on the board, but the one guy for Oshawa that I've been really impressed with is Jamie Johnson. Every time he's been on the ice, he's getting scoring opportunities. He's putting the puck on net, and actually hit the post earlier in the game and almost had a goal too. So keep an eye on 10.
Yeah, come to think of it, we never did go back and look at that Jamie Johnson shot. We'll have to try and take a closer look at that. I don't know if the boys in the truck got that or not, but we were talking about it, and the fans were speculating about whether or not that shot did go, the shot that went off the inside of the post, and Jamie Johnson It was a 1-on-3 situation. He was the one who took that shot, and it hit kind of the inside of the post, and obviously wasn't ruled as a goal. But you're right, he's been impressive tonight.
Well, he has. He has 2 points this weekend in both games. He's had a goal and an assist. So he's just trying to continue his solid, strong play over the weekend.
And Beckford deals it in. Curry loses the handle and loses his stick behind that net. And now you got 3 Peterborough Petes trying to pass Curry a stick. Well, that was kind of humorous. Not for David Curry, though. He was just saying, hey, somebody give me a stick. Now here's Flood. Selin holds it in, and for the first time tonight, the Generals have something going. There's a stop, and Curry using a forward stick makes the save. And that's what you want to do when that goaltender's got a hockey stick as opposed to a goalie stick. Shoot it low. There's a high shot. Curry got a piece of that. So yes, the Generals late in this second period have some energy. Now Kadatsky doesn't have a stick. He picks up the goalie stick behind the net, and they work the exchange, just like a relay race. Passing the baton, I guess, John. That was kind of humorous.
Well, they were being smart. They were doing the right thing. They just didn't execute it exactly the way they would like to do it. But that's what they were trying to do. When a player loses a stick, especially the goaltender, usually the defenseman gives the goaltender the stick to replace it. It's a perfect example. Goaltender loses a stick. Adam Elzinga goes to give the goaltender his stick. Now, a defenseman loses a stick. It's a forward's responsibility to give him a stick so that the defenseman has it, because you want the guys closest to the net to be able to clear the net. They had the right idea. They just didn't execute it quite as well as they would have liked to.
Yes, the exchange of sticks, the bottom line is you can't forget about defending during that exchange, and for a moment that's what the Petes did. Now they're on the offense. Cardiff spins and fires way wide. Just over 2 minutes to go in the second period. Nathan Horton has the Generals on the board finally as they trail 4-1. Ranger puts it around the boards. Can't get it out. Gets it back again. And now Cardiff has it. He falls. Patterson trying to get in on the forecheck. But Ranger has it, camped out behind his own net. Ahead for Ben Eager. Smart first pass. Brings it in over the line, trying to charge to that net. One hand on the stick. And Curry put that paddle down. Eager continues to work for it. And Wayne Gretzky, one of the Phoenix Coyotes owners, obviously, says he loves the combination of toughness and skating ability that Ben Eager has, and he tried to show it there as he charged to the front of the net, but Curry made the good stop, and now play whistle down on the icing call with 1:10 to go in the second period.
I got a good chance to see Ben Eager last year at the Top Prospects game, and he won one of the races, the skating races in the competition, the skills competition. He's a tremendous skater, and when he drives to the net, he has long legs and just drives so hard. He's a very tough customer to stop, and I can see why Wayne Gretzky and the Phoenix Coyotes picked him in the first round, because he has a lot of skill and that edge to his game, that physical toughness.
Eager has been suspended a couple of times this year, and that's one of the reasons the Generals found themselves in the midst of a slump about a month ago. But now the Eager and Horton are both back in the lineup. The Generals obviously playing much better. Chambers going for the hat-trick shot, and it grazed the outside of the net. We're into the final minute of the second period. Whalen cradling the puck. Gets it to center. Johnson fires it loose. For Brandon Nolan. He's got speed, trying to use it. But he's hooked and held. And couldn't get to the front of the net. Now Johnson has it. Johnson is knocked down. And the fans starting to get in an hourly move. Pass for Nolan. He couldn't do anything with it. Kenner has it. And just gets it back inside Oshawa territory with time ticking down in this second period. There's House. Long shot. Beckford-Tseu closes the mid on that one and leaves it for Neal, and that's going to do it, or does it? As Eager and House glare at one another.
Well, Ben Eager didn't want to waste any time. He wanted to go right there, but the buzzer had blown, and John House wasn't sure what he was going to do, but Eager decided not to.
Well, Eager's running mate and good friend Nathan Horton has a goal for the Oshawa Generals, the only one on that man, David Curry, as the Generals trying to find something to build on in terms of confidence. When we come back, a Sportsnet News update, we'll talk to Nathan Horton, and we got the play of the period.
Welcome back to the Sportsnet News studio. I'm RJ Broadhead. The San Jose Sharks have struggled this season, and today they fired their entire coaching staff. Daryl Sutter, Lorne Mullick, and Rich Preston are all gone, and Cap Rader will take over on an interim basis. We'll have more details tonight on Sportsnet News, but for now, let's get to some NBA highlights involving the Raptors and the Memphis Grizzlies. No longer Vancouver. Vince Carter remembers the old Canadian rivalry. He doesn't care who he's playing, though. He's just going to rack up the points. From beyond the arc, he hits the three. Toronto has an early lead. Then in the third quarter, Pau Gasol going baseline. Nice little move. Two-handed jam. Grizzlies in control by 5. Then Vince, he's back at it. Tough left-handed layup. Has a look, then drops for him. Raptors still trailing. Fourth quarter. Drew Gooden, a jump hook. Vince is there with a block. Then Gooden will get another opportunity. This game very, very close. He drives into the paint. His shot won't go, but look at Shane Battier all over the rebound. Memphis up by 3. Late in the fourth, Toronto down by a point. Alvin Williams going coast to coast. The lay-in. Raptors have a 1-point lead. Seconds to go. Raptors up by 3. Williams gets it and puts it ahead to Vince Carter. The tomahawk jam. Raptors win it. 92-87. Vince Carter at a season-high 27 points. He's back and healthy and doing well. Alvin Williams, 20 points. Shane Battier was the man for the Grizzlies. He had 14.
Thank you very much, Michael Bradley. 8 points, 9 rebounds in this one. This was a gutsy effort by you guys.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, this is another one that we needed. We need all of them on this road trip. But I mean, getting the one in Boston, that was a good one. But we knew we couldn't come in here and have a letdown. And you know, we got down early, and we kept fighting and came back and got our win.
The Skins game. Tiger Woods on the par 5, 10th hole. His second shot would set him up nicely. Always got a great opportunity at Eagle. So Tiger, here he is for that eagle. Read it well. He's got to break a little. Oh, yeah, perfect weight. That gets him $50,000. Par 3, 15th hole. Marco Mira, he's tied for the lead with $125,000. This one will, oh, wow, stick about 3 feet away. He'd take 3 skins and $210,000 on the hole. 17th hole, Marco Mira, birdie putt. It's good, and that clinches him the 2002 Skins game.
Wonderful putt. I got it all for you, though.
I just followed in your footsteps, barely.
Well, 18th hole, a little drama. Woods in the bunker.
Got in my swing.
Well, Tiger upset at a fan taking a picture during his backswing. It's happened so often for Tiger. Phil Mickelson would take that hole. Marco Mira wins with $405,000. Phil Mickelson second, Freddie third, and Tiger a measly $125,000. In the NFL, the Bears and the Packers. Jim Miller gets the start despite having a sore elbow in the first quarter. Bears faking a field goal attempt. Brad Maynard pitches to Dustin Lyman. You got to love it when the fakes work, especially if you're a Bears fan. It's 7-0. Then Miller in the second quarter steps back, and he will spot Dustin Lyman again. It's 14-3 Bears. It was 14-6 at the half. In the third quarter, Brett Favre gets his team going, as you know he always does, and he spots a wide-open Bubba Franks from 6 yards out. Green Bay trailing by just 1. Of course, you got to do the Lambeau leap in the fourth quarter. Packers up by 2. Favre to William Henderson. Again, a short yardage touchdown. It's 23-14. And then late in the fourth, former Saskatchewan Rough Rider Henry Burris doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he's got a lot of time here. And he's going deep. It's tipped. It's cut. The Bears would miss the 2-point conversion and lose it by 10. Coming up tonight on Sportsnet News with myself and Peter Labardius, we will have all the details about the Sharks firing their entire coaching staff and, of course, a full rundown on what happened today in the NFL. It's coming up tonight on Sportsnet News.
The great rivalry continues 1 week from tonight on Sportsnet. The Hall Olympique and the Ottawa 67s, one of our interleague games that we'll be presenting for your viewing pleasure on Sportsnet this year. That game goes at 8 o'clock. Well, a little bit better for the Oshawa Generals down the stretch, and Nathan Horton had a hand in that as you score your 12th of the year. Boy, it's been a tough outing for you guys, Nathan, but let's be honest, Peterborough has played pretty well.
Yeah, they have, but we haven't been getting the bounces, and hopefully we can capitalize when we do get it.
Are you guys a little tired? You played a lot of hockey, especially on the road of late.
I think so, but we can't use that as an excuse. We just got to go out and do our best, I guess.
Now, you missed a lot of time, 13 games with a broken jaw. I guess the only thing, if there's a positive side to having a broken jaw, is the fact that you can keep your aerobic activity up. You can stay in shape. What did you do during the month that you missed?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. Couldn't do too much working out and stuff, but I pulled through it, and I guess just coming back and being in the lineup has been helpful.
Yeah, you can keep the legs going, but obviously there's nothing like playing hockey to stay in shape. Now, I know it's going to be a sleepless night for you tonight because I talked to Eric Staal about this. You are wondering about the World Junior situation. They're going to extend the invitations tomorrow for the training camp. Have you heard anything? Do you have a hint for us? Has anybody talked to you about that?
No, I haven't heard much, but hopefully I get the chance, and if I do, I'm going to make the best of it.
What would it mean to you to be part of the program? Because, of course, you've been part of Canada's international situation with the under-17, under-18. It would continue with the World Junior. What would it mean to you?
Oh, it's an awesome experience, and everybody loves to do it, and everybody loves to play for their country, so hopefully I can be a part of that.
Well, good luck to you on that front. Now, let's talk finally about this third period coming up. What's the bottom line? What do you have to do to get over the hump?
We just got to keep going out like we were in the end of the third there, and I think we'll be fine.
Well, this guy got them going in that second period. Nathan, we appreciate that. And we'll show you the goal that got Nathan Horton and the Oshawa Generals on the board. It was a typical Nathan Horton goal with an assist from his good buddy Ben Eager as they crashed that net. Puck frantically for that, but some people up in the crowd thought it was in, but apparently going off the inside of the post. Meantime, Ben Eager, we had a scrum at the end of that second period. Ben Eager picking up a minor penalty, so as a result, the Oshawa Generals will have to kill a penalty to start this third period. Kill it off for George Burnett and go back to work, because as we mentioned, they were a lot better. They had a lot more energy in the last 5 minutes of that second period.
Well, I'm sure the key to the game now in the third period, the Oshawa Generals get this penalty killed, get back to the way it was the last 5 minutes of the last period, and try to get some pucks on the David Curry.
And try and get rid of that dreaded Sportsnet curse that we've been talking about, because in the last 3 years, the Oshawa Generals on Sportsnet have lost 6-2, 7-0, 7-2. That 7-2 loss this year on November 3rd, that game we worked in Brampton, and now trailing 4-1 in the third period of this one. So a lot of losses on Sportsnet. They're trying to rectify that situation, but first, as John talked about, they've got to kill off this penalty. Eric Staal has that puck into the faceoff circle, takes the shot, play whistle down, as Van Bellegui laying on the ice looking up at the referee Brad Beer. And the Peterborough Petes are going to pick up the penalty, and that is obviously going to nullify that power play opportunity. So there's one way to get the job done shorthanded, have the other team pick up a penalty.
Josh Patterson just battling in front of the net, trying to get his own space, gets his stick up a little bit high. Van Bellegui goes down to the ice. Now we're going to see a little 4-on-4 action.
So they'll try and open things up. And the Generals have Katsopoulos and Horton up front. Nice conversation with Nathan Horton at our second intermission, and away he goes. He's got the only General goal. Look at that speed. Takes a shot on the fly. Rebound. Cook with a shot. Doesn't get through. Now let's play some hockey. 4-on-4. Open real estate. House is going to use it. Down the wing. Takes a shot. Block and save. Beckford-Tseu. And by the way, House has picked up an assist now on Ray Chambers' second goal. So House now has 2 assists on the night. Horton backhands it in. And the Generals making some quick changes. They've played a lot of hockey of late. They played Wednesday in Kingston. They won that game. They played Friday in Mississauga. They won that game. They played last night in Belleville and won that game. And Nathan Horton, during our second intermission interview, said, yeah, we're probably a little bit tired, but in the OHL, you can never use that as an excuse. Everybody's in the same boat. Johnson trying to thread that needle over for Nolan. That's not going to work. And Krychuk back the other way with Stahl. They teamed up in a beautiful 2-on-1. Stahl to Krychuk in that second period. Nolan having some problems with the puck, and Krychuk will risk it for the line. Lucas Krychuk, basically it came down to he and Jay Bolmeister for the final position on defense for the Florida Panthers this year, and Bolmeister was the one who got it. Wrist shot. Curry with the glove save, and now feeling the puck pressure, he holds on.
Well, Oshawa spent a lot of time on the road. We talked about it. They had a terrific time on the road, too. 4 wins, no losses, and 1 tie. And we mentioned how coming back home, you think that, okay, we're back home. you can lighten up a little bit and things are still going to go well for them, but it just doesn't happen that way. You still got to battle at home just as hard as you do on the road.
And now Oshawa with a brief power play opportunity, 20 seconds to go. And this is the opportunity they've been looking for to try and get a little bit closer. So far in the game, the Generals 0 for 4 with the man advantage. Now they'll start the rush. Nolan with a pass ahead for Cook. Time ticking down. And the power play opportunity, just 5 seconds to work it. Will they even get a shot? That is the question. The answer is no. So now 0 for 5 with the man advantage. Among the big reasons why they continue to trail 4-1. Oshawa Generals have been shorthanded all season long because of suspensions and injury problems. They've got a couple of other injuries right now, as Behrens and Bertie both down with injuries. So the Generals getting used to playing shorthanded. Patterson up ahead, can't do anything with it. And now Fillon gets it through for King, and now Fillon goes down a knee-on-knee, which is always a dangerous thing. Petro in front for King, fans on the shot. Petes touched the puck, and we're going to see the Generals get an opportunity one more time in the power play with 16:49 to go in the third period, and the Gens trailing 4-1.
Lucas Krychek stuffed up to the center ice and hit Tim Fillon right here. Got the leg low on him. That's a dangerous hit. Fillon could have had a knee problem with that hit, but Krychek, not known for being a dirty type of a player, a pretty clean type player, more of an offensive style, not that aggressive, but he's trying to finish his checks and finds himself in the penalty box.
Krychek last year got a chance to play 5 games with the Florida Panthers. He didn't play in any regular season games this year before being sent back to Peterborough. Now here we go. The Generals 0 for 5 with a man advantage. Cook with a shot. Nolan tried to deflect it. Back to Van Bellegui. Puts it behind the net for Whalen. Trying to chop it over to Nolan. That didn't work. Nolan continues to work for the puck though, and now he's got it on the end of his stick. Back for Cook. Takes the shot. Now he falls down. Nolan trying to clean things up. And now Oshawa has to back off, and it's whistled down on the delayed offside.
Eric Staal being very aggressive at the blue line, getting on the defender quick, not giving him any time to clear the puck deep into the zone, and made it very tough and forces an offside call here at the blue line.
Horton on the draw, wins the faceoff back to Van Bellegui. And he smacks it in deep. Ben Eager. Leaves it for Horton. Short side shot goes wide. Ranger pinching down, holds it in. Trying to get it to King behind the net. Colt King, number 11 for the Generals, picked up in an early season trade from Saginaw. And he was basically purchased in part to make sure the Generals had some insurance if Anthony Aquino, a player they picked up from the NCAA in the United States, was ruled ineligible to play. There was an eligibility issue, and Aquino has been ruled ineligible. They're still trying to fight that in court, but for the moment, Aquino is a very skilled defensive player, can't play, and that's one of the reasons why George Burnett picked up Colt King to give himself some insurance in that department. And again, the Petes will clear the deck. 35 seconds to go in attack time for the Generals. 15:20 to go in the third period. Peterborough leading 4-1. This is the rubber match in the season series so far. Oshawa winning on night number 1, 8-3, and then the Petes coming back and winning 5-0. There's a goal by King as he battles for that puck. And that's that insurance policy I was talking about. And they just cashed it in as King kept battling for it. It's a power play goal, and all of a sudden, John, we've got ourselves a hockey game.
Well, this is what they needed to do. Come out, take advantage of any chance. But Colt King wins the battle here along the boards against Adam Elzinga. Keeps on battling. Ryan Carr just stays back, and Colt King gets an opportunity at a second whack on David Curry. He doesn't give up after the first one and just puts it underneath the blocker if David Curry didn't quite get the net covered on the short side as well as he would have liked to, but just a dominant effort in the corner by Colt King.
And Oshawa finally striking gold in the power play. They're now 1 for 6 in the hockey game, trailing 4-2. And now they've got a chance with just under 15 minutes to go in the third period. Here they come again. Nice defensive coverage by the Petes. Cardiff down the left side. Passing in tight for Patterson. He was tied up. Eager ahead for Katsopoulos. Jumped over his stick. It's going to go right to the doorstep of Curry. Obviously forced to play it. Leaves it for Krychek. being hooked. Beautiful skater. Brings it out to the blue line. Ahead for Tardif. He couldn't rip it in. Tries again. Petersopoulos picks it off. Cross-ice pass off the boards for Horton. Went through his wickets. And Tardif continues to skate. Now Johnson, he's the first man in. Brings it behind that net, using that net for protection. Trying to get it to Nolan. Puck skipping. Nolan battles for it. Johnson for filling. Now Van Bellegui. Everybody yelling, shoot. He does. Good save by Curry. And it comes back to center. And you can just see the energy now in the Oshawa Generals.
With the Petes not doing very well in the last few games, all of a sudden they get a couple goals scored against. Their confidence is not that strong to begin with. You start getting behind the 8-ball here a bit, and you're going to feel it.
Chambers with the snapshot goes wide. And again, it's that C-word, confidence, that we've been talking about all night long. Nolan, over the line, pulls up. Being checked well by Alzingo, who got right in his face. And now Nolan falls to the ice. Fans campaigning for a penalty, not going to happen.
Good job by Adam Alzinga to force Nolan up the boards. Didn't give him any time to do anything. Pushed him back out of the zone. Safe play for the Petes now.
The Generals back into it. Colt King is 8th of the year, and it's a 4-2 game. Well, tomorrow night, this should be a good one. The Toronto Raptors against Steve Nash and the Dallas Mavericks. You can see it 8 o'clock Eastern. Home Depot Raptors basketball. And of course, we've got the Raptor games on Sportsnet, also the Toronto Blue Jays. And there's the voice of the Toronto Blue Jays on Sportsnet, Rob Falls, enjoying a tasty beverage. And of course, John, you do some work with Rob Falls with our American Hockey League telecasts here on Sportsnet.
Yeah, I can't wait. We're going to be doing a few games coming year.
Colt King with a wrist shot, goes wide. And now Rob Falls and everybody sitting back for the final 13 minutes. And what all of a sudden has become an interesting hockey game. Here's Eric Staal, a goal and a helper so far tonight. To Patterson, trying to feed it in tight. Staal tracks it down. Behind the net, continues to battle for that puck. He's got Patterson in front. There's a shot by Staal, just going over the net. Boy, Eric Staal busting in front. Staal is a dangerous customer, and he showed it again. Trying to make a late bid to make sure that he's on the invitation list for that Team Canada World Junior tryout situation. As we've mentioned, they're going to announce the tryout candidates tomorrow, and the play whistled down on the automatic icing with 12:33 to go in the third period, and the Petes trying to hold on to this 2-goal cushion.
Well, Eric Staal just shows tremendous confidence when he has the puck, and he's very patient behind the net. He'll throw it off the back of the net, and this is something that not a lot of guys can do. He gets the puck, and then he steps out and gets a terrific scoring opportunity. And I'm sure that Blair Mackesy has taken note of Eric Staal's play when he was in Vancouver, scored a beautiful game in the goal in the All-Star game also. A good candidate to be on that list tomorrow.
Mackesy, the head scout for our Team Canada World Junior team. Big save, Beckford-Tseu. And when he makes a stop, it's usually an exciting one. He's a goaltender with a lot of flair.
Well, Ryan Card gets a nice shot on net. He's actually playing defense. He'd gone to the coaches a couple of weeks ago and asked to play forward, but with a couple injuries on defense, now they've had to throw him back in the point, but he gets a nice shot on net there on Beckford-Tseu.
And Beckford-Tseu really came into his own last year in the playoffs for the Oshawa Generals. They lost in the first round to a very good Belleville team, but Beckford-Tseu played with a lot of confidence. The whole team did, and that's acquitted themselves quite nicely for the great start they've had to this season. Chambers looking for Penner, gets it back again. Picked off though by Whalen. 12 minutes to go, third period. Here come the Generals, trailing by 2. Whalen pulls up, takes a shot off the shins of Alzinga. Comes across, Nolan tried to scoop that shot, goes wide. Nolan on it one more time. Diving for that puck. Look at the work by Brandon Nolan as he tried to keep it in. Petes cleared down the ice, but it hit an Oshawa stick, negating the icing.
The Petes have to be careful in the offensive zone. If they don't have a play, they got to put the puck deep and wait for something to happen. And they can't force it because what is happening now, they're trying to throw pucks up the middle of the ice in the offensive zone. It's getting picked off, and Oshawa is getting a couple opportunities at the other end of the rink because of it.
Stahl read that play perfectly, takes the shot off the sideboards. Beckford-Tseu sprawls out and hugs that puck.
Well, Eric Stahl's been very dominant in this game. Every shift he's been on the ice, he's showed such great composure. Really has been the leader that the team has needed him to be tonight. Stepped up and provided offense, defensive play. It's a very strong game.
Well, you mentioned he had played in that All-Star game November 19th, and speaking with Peterborough Petes coach Rick Elaine, one of his concerns was that maybe Stahl was getting a little bit tired because he came back from that All-Star game in Vancouver, a cross-country flight, and then all of a sudden he had to play 3 games in 3 nights. And as many minutes as Eric Staal plays for you, you've always got to be concerned that you're going to wear the young man down.
Exactly. He plays power play, plays penalty killing, regular shift, plays against the top lines, and has to play against the top players that check on the other teams too. So he's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulder, and coming back from Vancouver with that time change and having to get up early, get on a bus to go on a long road trip, is very tiring for the guy.
Well, I guess as we've talked about, that's life in the Ontario Hockey League. We spoke with Nathan Horton about that, the fact that his team's played a lot of hockey, but he says, hey, we can't use that as an excuse. Everybody is in basically the same boat. Here's the aforementioned Horton now with the puck. Throws it in deep, 10:45 to go in the 3rd period. Generals trailing by 2, going for the body. There's a big collision as Dawson was absolutely hammered by Eager. And now Williams grabs Eager, and Katsopoulos is in there, and they've got to be careful. Eager absolutely nailed Dawson behind the net. And that's why this is going on now.
Well, Eager finishing the check off hard on Dawson behind the net. Greg Williams didn't like it, went and tried to address him right away. Dawson doesn't quite get turned. As he's going to get the puck, he wants to continue going, but then decides to face the boards at the last second, and that's just not a good thing to do, especially if you feel the player coming down your back like that. You get caught in the awkward position. You see the guy coming, you want to protect yourself, but unfortunately, he turned his face to the boards, and then he gets knocked into the boards from behind.
So the onus in that situation, John, is on Dawson to get his head up and feel the pressure coming. Eager is just finishing his check. You don't think there was anything wrong with what Eager did?
Well, you got to know what's coming, especially the way Eager plays, and you have to know who's on the ice when you are on the ice. I know that I would never go on the ice without having a good look to see, especially when a guy like Brian Marchman was on the ice or Scott Stevens. You know how they play, and you don't want to cut across the blue line, so you don't do it. But when you have the puck, Dawson has the puck. He makes a good play, rims it around the boards, and should expect to be hit. But at the last second, turns and faces the glass, and you catch an edge, and you just don't quite get yourself supported properly, and it could be a dangerous play.
Well, that was a great look at that, because you're right. You could see Dawson turn right into the glass, putting himself in obviously a vulnerable position. So, you always talk about the hit, but it's always important for young hockey players to know how to receive a hit as well, isn't it, John?
Oh, exactly. You know a guy's coming down on you. You got to learn how to take the hit, go with it, get into the glass. It was a snap decision, though. Things happen so fast on the ice, and Dawson has to make that decision. Okay, do I keep going and ride out the hit, or do I turn and try to spin away? He tried to spin away from the hit there, and Eager's just trying to finish his check.
He gets off on his own power, which is a good thing. And in case you're curious, no, Ben Eager was not penalized for that check. But there are going to be some penalties as a result of what happened after that check. And they posted on the big scoreboard over top of center ice coincidental minor penalties. There's Katsopoulos getting the call for the Oshawa Generals, as you see Ben Eager standing up at the players' bench, and Greg Williams posted on that board for the Peterborough Petes. So as a result of that, some more 4-on-4 hockey, and we've seen a couple of examples of that tonight, and when we have, it's really opened things up. We'll see what happens this time as it's snapped in by Flood. Beckford-Tseu playing it around the boards and out. 10:25 to go, 3rd period. Elzinga, he's been impressive for the Petes tonight, logging a lot of ice time. The veteran 20-year-old from Burbank, Illinois. Nolan down the right wing. He's had some opportunities tonight, and now he's got that puck. Backhand pass across. Selling off the boards, takes the shot way wide. Johnson behind the net. Nolan trying to get in front. Good defensive play by Mark Flood, and that's why Rick Elaine says he's their best defensive defenseman. General's still on it, though. And finally, Elzinga just clears at the center ice. Selin has to settle that puck down. He does. Then Nolan doesn't want to touch it, because when they do, right there, it's going to be whistled down on the offside. 9:35 to go in the third period. George Burnett and his hockey club trying to come back. Coming up right after our hockey game tonight, Peter Labardius and RJ Broadhead standing by with the latest installment of Sportsnet News, including the big news of the day. Daryl Sutter out as coach of the San Jose Sharks. Cap Rader is in, and Cap Rader, a former assistant coach with the Los Angeles Kings. John Druce, when you were part of the Los Angeles program. Tell us about Cap.
Well, Cap Rader, he's a tremendous hockey man. He's been around the game a long time. Was the assistant coach when Barry Melrose was the head coach. They went to the Stanley Cup Finals with Cap Rader as an assistant coach.
So Cap getting an opportunity with the San Jose Sharks, who have been one of the NHL's most disappointing teams this year. Here come the Generals, trailing 4-2 with 9:15 to go in this third period. Horton gets twisted around. Now he gets knocked down by Dawson. And it's good to see Aaron Dawson back on his feet after taking that big check from Ben Eager behind the net. Dawson has been good tonight with a couple of assists for the Peterborough Petes. And now a big collision into that Oshawa net as Van Bellegui and Tardif got all twisted up. And a penalty has been called.
Tardif just drives wide to the net and tries to continue and get there the best way he can, but Justin Van Bellegui grabs him, just lassos him around the head and pulls him down hard. I guess whatever it takes. But Tardif, he's got some strength. He's not the tallest guy, but he does weigh 215 pounds. Solid customer to play against. Drives hard to the net and uses that weight to his advantage.
So the Peterborough Petes leading the game 4-2. We'll get some work in the power play. 0 for 3 with the man advantage tonight. We should mention, though, that they do have a shorthanded goal. Greg Chambers got the only goal of the first period, and it was shorthanded. And it's going to be a 4-on-3 situation. Stahl will take the draw against Johnson. Stahl wins that draw. Chambers on the ice. Gets it to Krychek. Over to Chambers. The Krychek takes the shot. Goes off the shaft of Whalen's stick and hits the roof, and they whistle it down with 8:48 to go in the third period.
Krychek moved the puck around very, very well. Top players in the team, Stahl, Chambers, Tardif, and Kadaski. They've got 50 of the goals scored for the Petes this year. The rest of the team only has 33, so they count on them top 4 guys quite a bit in this lineup.
There's Chambers with a shot. Didn't waste any time. And now Dawson back on the ice. Whoa! The fans thought that might have jumped out offside, but the linesman didn't see it that way. It's now a 5-on-4 power play. 1:15 to work it for the Petes. Dawson. Partially blocked by Johnson. Goes behind the net for Stahl. He's going to try to sneak attack. It's right there, and Beckford-Tseu had to be careful with that one. The always crafty Eric Staal trying to create something out of nothing, and something almost won.
Crafty is right, because he did step out, and it surprised me because he's on his backhand, but as he reaches around the net, it does come in and just catches the left foot of Beckford-Tseu. That thing goes in the net if Beckford-Tseu doesn't keep his leg in front of the goal line.
That's the kind of puck skills you learn on the backyard rink in Thunder Bay, and we talked to Eric Staal about that, how much fun he used to have in the old outdoor rink. Had regulation boards and everything, and he had about 50 new best friends because they always wanted to come over and play on Eric's backyard rink. And he spent a lot of time honing those types of skills on that rink in Thunder Bay.
Well, it's a problem for their mother because they could never get them off the ice every time that they are out there, and they had to get their homework done.
Penner's shot, hugged by Beckford-Tseu with 32 seconds to go in the Petes power play.
Well, Beckford-Tseu is being tested. The Petes only have 21 shots on net. Oshawa has 32. Oshawa's had a lot of quality chances. David Curry's had to come up big, but Beckford-Tseu has been very strong the last little bit in this game as Oshawa is trying to get things back on track.
Stahl back out there again for the final remnants of this power play as they try and get set up properly for the faceoff, and Stahl gets chased. Chambers will come in. Wins it to Krychek. Now he'll back off a little bit. Moves to the middle. Gives it to Stahl. There's a hard shot. Beckford-Tseu stopped that. Ranger gets it ahead for Nolan. He's got Johnson with him. Spots Johnson with a great pass. Cruising in over the line. Snaps it on the goal. And now Nolan gets hauled down. And it's going to be an interference call. And so the Peterborough Petes not out of the woods yet as Krychek for the second time going to that penalty box, this time on the interference call, John.
Well, Nolan just tries to drives hard and tries to create something. On the left side of the screen, Krychek gets his rear end out, throws a little bit of a hip check. And you can't do that. Krychek's got to turn and get back to the net and pick up his man going to the net instead. Got a little bit lazy, a little bit flat-footed.
So in 3, 2, 1 seconds, the Oshawa Generals will have a power play. 1 for 6 with a man advantage. They got a power play goal in this period to get themselves back in a hockey game. It was the Colt King goal from Nolan and Ranger that did it. Now Eager all tied up. And Flood will clear it. 6:35 to go in the third period. Peterborough in front 4-2. Ranger to King. Always working hard through that neutral zone. Leaves it for Johnson. Now Eager scampering over. Gets it back to the line for Ranger. Blocked by Flood. So calm and cool with that puck. And he knifes it down the ice, and here's Nolan being puck pressured by Stahl. And to Nolan. Ahead for Johnson. Rims the boards. King goes to the right spot. Puts it back behind the net for Johnson. He's tied up. The Generals get it back. Back to Nolan. There's a shot. There was a screen set up in front. And a good play by Stahl to poke it loose. Now a foot race. Here comes Stahl. And Beckford-Tseu had to poke at that puck and help out Nolan. And isn't that interesting? Nolan and Stahl, two of the fastest skaters in the Ontario Hockey League, with a bit of a foot race. And that was a lot of fun to watch. And Beckford-Tseu had to be sharp to come out like that. "15 seconds to go in the Krychek minor penalty. Peterborough with a hop, skip, and a jump will try and get something goal. And he backhands it in. Here's Ryan Carr. Gets it again. Can he get it out? Yes, he can, and that's going to do it. Krychek back on the ice. Will the Petes dodge a bullet with just under 5 minutes to go in the third period. And the Petes continue to lead 4-2. Peterborough hustling down that wing, tied up from behind by Williams.
Good play by Williams. Get back on that play. Just back checking, lifts up the stick. It's a simple play, but it can mean the difference between a shot on goal. Prevented that shot on goal just by getting back and back checking, helping his defense out.
Dawson cross ice to Krychek, puts it up on that glass. The safe play. And the Peterborough Petes want to make the safe plays now. Coming in 3 games under 500. Generals, meantime, 9 games over 500. So this would be an upset if the Petes can hold on. Nolan down the wing. Oh, what a shot! And Curry with a great glove save. Wow! David Curry and the Petes literally trying to hold on.
The Ontario Hockey League on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Tim Hortons. Delight the coffee lover on your list this season with our collector mug and canister. The Molson Canadian Bubba Collector Can. Dressed for a limited time in team jerseys, it's 14 bottles of beer big and perfect for watching that game with the guys. And by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
The Oshawa Generals have won 4 in a row. The Peterborough Petes have lost 3 in a row. And the Petes trying to change all of that with a victory tonight. Just over 4 minutes to go in the third period. They lead 4-2. Generals now with some jump. And just a moment ago, Curry made a great glove save on Brandon Nolan. Nolan's still out there on the ice. Eager working for it. Johnson trying to sliver through the traffic. Nolan in a shooting position, and there's another glove save by Curry. Not quite as tough as the last glove save that he made on Nolan.
Greg Chambers has been a big part of this game. He's got 2 goals, really in a slump, broke out of it. But the big story, the Petes scored 3 goals the second period, 2 of them in 34 seconds. Nathan Horton got 1 late in the second. Now Oshawa has outshot the Petes 35-23. And again, David Curry has had to come up big for this team in Peterborough.
Well, that save on Nolan just a moment ago was his best of the night. Certainly the most exciting save of the night. There's no doubt about that. Patterson prying that puck loose. Gets it to the right side for Tardif, who just sweeps it in. And Belagui will come around his net and get it ahead. Here's Horton. Backs up, he'll sock it right into that Oshawa bench, and George Burnett had the duck.
He's got pucks flying at his head, and his team just not playing the way they'd like to. It's got to be frustrating. 3rd game in 3 nights, and the coaches in the Ontario League, they don't like that. They don't like to use that as an excuse. The team's trying to battle back.
Well, George Burnett had the duck, and speaking of the Ducks, he used to be an assistant coach with the NHL Anaheim Mighty Ducks, but now he's back in the Ontario Hockey League, the 3rd year of a 5-year contract with the Oshawa Generals, and George is both the general manager and coach, and he's certainly got this program turned around. He said there were going to be some tough times the first 2 years, but by year 3 he'd really have something, and he really does. The Generals 16-7-1-1 coming into this game and battling for 2nd spot with the St. Mike's Majors in the Eastern Conference behind the Ottawa 67s, who have been by far the best team in the Ontario Hockey League this year.
Well, I think George Bennett did a tremendous job here in Oshawa. He got rid of the players that he didn't want, brought in the guys that he does. He has everybody playing on the same page. He's a very good coach. Everybody knows what their role is, and they all play a very good system together.
And John, with all of their injuries and suspensions, he's really had to finesse things at times to pull off the victories that he has had, because he's never had his full team at his disposal.
Exactly, and that's why he's done such a good job. It's because that he's utilized what he's had, and everybody's still stuck with the program.
2:45 to go in the 3rd period, and the puck winds up underneath Eric Staal, so they whistle it down.
Peterborough just want to get the puck in deep, make sure they have 1 guy forechecking. 2 minutes and 46 seconds left in the 3rd period. They want to make sure they don't get anybody caught deep, have 4 guys back, not give Oshawa too much coming through the neutral zone.
Now Chambers will bring it in over the line. There's a pass across for Penner, and it skipped off the toe of his blade. Back to the line for Dawson. Blocked at the top of the line by Whalen. And he tried to spring King loose, but the Petes read that perfectly. And everything in a defensive posture, obviously, right now, John, for Peterborough.
Exactly. They're not trying to give up too much through the neutral zone. Keep it deep in the offensive zone and be patient. If there's a break happen, take it, but they don't want to give up too much. They'll have 3 guys back.
Just under 2 minutes to go now in the 3rd period. Peterborough protecting that 4-2 edge. Here's Petro. Backs up into his own zone. And Patterson, the forechecker. And now Nolan down at the other end of the rink, but that's coming way back.
Nolan stepped off of the Oshawa bench and thought that he could slip in behind the defense there, but got a little too anxious, got across the red line before the puck. They're calling 2-line pass on that play. George Burnett not happy about it. Right off the bench, Nolan steps off, puck comes up, and what he's complaining about, he says the Petes player touched it at the red line, so it shouldn't have been a 2-line pass.
And I think he's got a point. He believes he does, and that's the main thing.
Well, you know what? You're right about that, and it's frustrating when, especially when you need 1 goal to get back into it and get going.
But now George has to get his emotions under control, and he knows that better than anybody, because the timeout has been called, and now they've got to plot some strategy, because they still have some time to get back into this game, and now you can see him talking to his troops.
Well, these guys have played a lot of ice time. We've got Eager and Johnson and Nolan on the ice. He wants to make sure that they're fresh. There's not a lot of time left in the game. Give them a chance to regroup. Get the top guys out there, the guys that he expects to score the goals for them.
1:41 to go in the third period. Petes lead 4-2. And you're right, John. All the horses are out there now. Johnson takes the face-off. Nolan remains out there. Ben Eager up front. He'll try and cause some traffic in front. But first things first, they've got to get some traffic down low for Eager to be part of. Here's Eager now, taking matters into his own hands to Nolan. There's a shot. They score! Well, all that talking at the bench obviously pays off. That was a beautiful goal. And it's a 4-3 game with 1:29 to go in the third.
Well, I guess taking a timeout, resting the guys, give him a chance to regroup. But Ben Eager is showing right here how much speed he has. He has tremendous explosive speed driving down the wing, pushes the defenseman back. But it's the nice play that he makes to Nolan across through the high slot that he sees Nolan coming in. Eager drives, takes a quick look, sees the man. Nolan knows what to do with it when he gets into the prime real estate, puts it in behind David Curry.
Well, when you're struggling, John, it's never easy, and it's not going to be easy for Peterborough now. Beckford-Tseu, the goaltender, goes to the bench. Oshawa with the extra attacker. 1:15 to go, third period. Generals trail 4-3. They have the puck. Took for King. Open man Nolan. Cross ice for Eager. Can he settle that puck down? No, he overscaled it. Tardif puts it up high. And then Belagui has to go back for it. We're into the final minute of the third period. Krajcik takes a look at that open net. Cook blocked it. And now Johnson has it and throws it in deep. Right to Curry, and Nolan with his speed forcing Curry to hold on for a face-off. And they've got the face-off, the Generals do, where they want it.
They did a good job getting the puck in deep. This is what they want to do. Get it in, get a face-off in the offensive zone. Now, you got to give the Petes credit. They had a couple times they could throw the puck down the ice, but they didn't throw it all the way down for an icing. So smart play on the Petes part by not throwing it down and forcing the face-off on their own end, but Oshawa kept putting the pressure on and gets one anyway.
Here we go, the big face-off. Nolan puts it in front for King. Oh! That just went by the post. I thought it was going. Curry didn't know where that puck was, and the net comes off its mooring. That was close.
Well, it's a funny bounce. Jamie Johnson, good centerman, gets the buck drop. Nolan gets it to the net, but it goes off King and bounces over, and I thought it was going to bounce in behind David Curry. It looked like it was going in.
When they say this game is a game of bounces, I guess that's what they're talking about.
That's right.
Now King, forechecking, comes to Cook. He's at the hash marks. Fortunate bounce for Penner and the Petes, and Penner slides it into that neutral zone area. Just under 30 seconds to go now in the third period. John House clears it in. Jamie Johnson to Nolan. Knifes it in. 15 seconds to go. Elzinga needs a nice hard clear. Nolan is there with his body to block it. Now Nolan desperately trying to pry it loose. 7 seconds to go. They need to throw it in front if they can. Bouncing puck then. Belagui comes down low, and that is going to do it as the Petes hold on. And they end a 3-game losing streak, and Oshawa's 4-game winning streak is over. And everybody in the building standing up because Colt King was involved with some of the Petes. And now they're just going to file off and realize that there's nothing you can do about that. Oshawa loses 4-3 as Peterborough holds on.
Well, Peterborough needing this win, not having very much success lately. They need to get some confidence. Oshawa came out and played pretty well the first 10 minutes of game. Rick Elaine had said that the first 10 minutes was key to this team. Oshawa didn't get on the board, gave Peterborough an opportunity to get into game.
So the rivalry continues, and the Petes win this chapter.